Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Live with K0BJJ, where we're talking about the Cedar Vally Ham Festival. If you didn't notice, that video actually went live at 7 o'clock. If you haven't checked it out, I see several people have. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a montage. I didn't have any interviews, so you're just going to get kind of an intro. You're going to see what all happened, and then you're going to get an outro. And then think of our awesome supporters. So we've got a kitty joining us today. I think someone's working on joining us on the stream today. But yeah, I will say if you can plan to come out for the Cedar Vally Ham Fest, we're going to actually try to have a booth there next year. I didn't ride up. I took one of our local hams up there with me, and he was a tech, and he's no longer a tech because they did VE testing, and Jason, KD0MUB, is now KD0MUB/AG. So congratulations, Jason. I do have someone that's knocking on the door. Before we get in there, I would like to thank all of our supporters. And if you would like to join our supporters list, head over to buymeacoffee/spotterjutting. All proceeds go to basically going back to you. Supporting this channel, getting prizes for giveaways, allowing us to travel. That's what all the support does. So thank you to all those supporters. And with that, who's knocking at my door? Hey, it's John. Hey, John.
Hey, Ben. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you just fine.
All right.
John was selling yesterday at the Ham Fest. How'd things go for you?
First time I was selling stuff, different perspective, but got to meet a lot of people, interesting people talking there, trying to get them to buy something. It was kind of hard.
Yeah. I tell you what, that one guy with that last oscilloscope, it says free. Yeah, it looks like yours.
I am so glad I'm not dragging that back home. I am so glad. I loaded up the truck. There was no room in the back, and there's no room in the front seat, in the passenger seat. And when I came back home, I had half the stuff half filled. So it was a success. I got rid of all my extra oscilloscopes.
If anyone hadn't seen in chat, if you are not subscribed to Ham Radio Crusader, he needs 5 subs. Let's try to get him 5 subs this stream. Go over and sub to him, Crick. And let's get him to 1,000 subscribers tonight. So yeah, no, John was there selling. Actually, if you guys watch the video and you see where the camera goes up and kind of pans around and we're in the corner, I was standing right next to John when I did that. So
that was I've never been to the Cedar Valley Amateur Radio Ham Fest. I wanted to go last year, but it just didn't work out. And quite surprised at how big it was, and a lot of people.
I would have loved to see maybe Walcott Radio show up because Walcott Radio is not that far away from them. But other than that, I was quite impressed with the turnout.
Yeah. Does Walcott Radio sell amateur stuff?
Yes, they do. They actually have a tab on their website just for amateur radio. Cool. They sell a couple mobile stations and a couple antenna systems. So they don't have a lot, but I mean, you found there were CBs and everything there. So I mean, just because it was a ham fest doesn't mean you couldn't have had Walcott Radio with some CB stuff there. I'm pretty sure they would have got some sales.
Yeah. That's one of my techniques when I'm like searching. Like I do a lot of online auctions, just looking for stuff to buy and stuff because I don't have time to go to an on-site auction and wait 2 hours for my one lot to show up or drive a long ways away. So one of my techniques to find like good stuff is search for CB radio, and you'll find a lot of 2-meter equipment listed as a CB radio, and you can get it cheap.
Yeah. Andy, I'm going to tell you this. No, I did not get a picture of your polo. The only thing that I got from your area, honestly, is when you're coming in the opening scene and we're walking into the main building, that giant spider beam mask comes out really good in the video. And then when I took that down the stream, that shot, or I was going down the outside, flea market stuff, that was actually standing right next to you, but I didn't get your booth in there. Sorry, buddy.
I love spider beams. That's my main antenna mast is a spider beam.
Well, the thing is about that, you could see Andy's spider beam from 200 yards away.
Yeah.
And when I walked up to him, I'm like, so this is yours. Okay.
Yeah. I eventually want. I like to get one. I got room out here on the farm to put one, but I like kind of like a spider beam just because I don't have to pour a lot of cement and put up a lot of a tower and stuff. I like we get quite a bit of wind here, so I just really don't want to have to spend all the money to put up a metal tower.
So, Andy, is that spider beam still for sale? Because you just heard John right there say he would be interested in one if you didn't get rid of it. And John, that's not that long of a drive. That's just the other side of Marshalltown. I bet if you guys work
Oh
it out,
no, oh
I bet
no.
if you guys work something out, you could probably meet in Marshalltown. I got a
Yeah, the
fly
nice thing
bugging me.
people think the spider beam is actually just a hex beam, but it's actually not. It's actually on some of the bands is actually a 2 element Yagi,
Uh,
a 2 and 3 element Yagi. So it has a little bit. It's sold. Oh
hey,
well.
that's the nature of
No
Hamfests.
commission for you, Ben.
I tried to get the referral bonus. What could I do? And I'm sorry, I got to fly. Like I'm sitting here before the stream. Nothing's bugging me. I got a cat locked in here next to me. I tried to let him out. He looks at me like I'm crazy, and now a fly's bugging me. So sorry. Yeah, no, that's just the nature of it. I mean, there was a lot of good equipment there. I mean, I know Jason took an oscilloscope from you, right?
Yeah, yeah, I got a liter 20 megahertz. I went to this auction and it was another one of those like out of the way, wouldn't think it would have any electronics equipment auctions. It was a machine shop in I think it was Waukee. And so they had all this heavy duty machine shop stuff like drills and brakes and stuff. But then the guy must have had some electronics interest because he had like four oscilloscopes and these things that looked like suitcases on the ground. And I knew what I didn't 100% know what they were, but I had a very good idea that they were tube testers. And so I ended up getting the lot pretty cheap, but I ended up, instead of getting one oscilloscope, which is all I need, I ended up with like 5 or 4 or something like that. And, I kept the one I wanted, and the other two I've had here. I have stuff in the basement, I have stuff in the garage, stuff in my den, stuff upstairs. So I had to declutter and get
Oh
some
yeah,
cash.
and I mean, there was a lot of stuff there. You sold a few things, obviously, because I know Jason took at least one thing off your hand.
Yeah, I sold. I traded. I had a HF rig. I traded for. I don't have any portable equipment, so most of my equipment is all like vintage '70s, and the newest one I have is probably like a '92, but they're all desktop. And so I wanted a mobile because I see you or go out on POTA and stuff, and so anyway. This guy had an old Kenwood TS120 S, which is 100 watt, no frills, but it's built well. It's a good radio. Probably needs some work on it, but I traded that for the other Kenwood I had in some cash. So and then as soon as I got it, I need like a 20 amp power supply, and I don't have a 20 amp power supply. So I went to this right straight out the door. Was a guy with a Astron 20, and there was a guy right in front of me who bought it. So I was a little.
Nah,
I saw it earlier, but I was busy selling stuff. I was all by myself, so I didn't have a lot of chance to look around.
it's nature of the beast. That's definite for sure. And I didn't get out there without spending a little money. I don't know if I'll get this on camera. I got a choke. Um, People have been talking to me rather forcefully. I'm not going to say yelling, but people have been getting at me for some dipole antennas because they're getting tired of seeing my vertical and potos. So that's where the one Ballin's going to come in. So we're hopefully going to get some POTA activations with some dipoles, or I'm going to set up a dipole in the backyard, work portable in the backyard, something. But
I gave Associated a little bit of money too.
yeah, that's all my money. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I like the used ham to ham equipment, but sometimes people just don't. I'm like, I can use that. I would like that. Everything that I wanted to get from the other people was out of my price range, and then the stuff that was in my price range, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
So I just bought from Associated and 4-H. Man, those
yeah,
pork
those
those
pulled pork sandwiches are pretty
man.
good. And I used to barbecue in competition, and they hit the spot. So
Those were some good pulled pork sandwiches, and I'm actually very happy I didn't go get more than I did.
I wish I would have got two. I only got one.
Yeah, but if you guys you're in Western Illinois, Southeast or Southwest Wisconsin, well, not Southeast. Southeast would be a little bit of a drive. Southwest Wisconsin, Cedar Valley Ham Fest. If you head over towards Cedar Rapids, it's not quite the Cedar Rapids. I really encourage you to come. It's one of the larger ones in the state. Like I said, I think next year we actually are going to have a booth set up where I'll have some spotter jutting stuff, but it's going to be mainly for the Iowa radio operators, trying to get more people, other Iowa radio operators, into that community.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I stopped. I gave Associated Radio some money because I got this 10 Tech, or not. Sorry, I got this Kenwood TS120S. I didn't have the power connector, so I had to go buy. I got me in a weak spot, and normally I don't buy power connectors because I make them myself. But I bought it for $25 or $30, which is outrageous. But I wanted it, and I could plug. I play it. Came home, plugged it in. It does power up. Like I said, I don't have a 20 amp, so I can't transmit. But I got this 7 amp Astron that I thought would have sold at the Ham Fest because everyone could use that for 2 meters. But I have that hooked up right now to the Kenwood just to test out the receive. And it receives okay and stuff like that. So, but you're absolutely right, Bryn. If you're buying the used equipment, you really got to check it out and be aware that it's not going to be perfect, probably, especially the older stuff. And you're going to have to probably open up the covers and at least clean the pots on them, or put some sort of something to clean the pots to make so they're not scratchy, and test everything out with a watt meter and all that kind of stuff. Test the receive, test the transmit.
hey, Phil, it was good seeing you. Phil, you need to check out that video because you got actually labeled in there. I had a nice arrow pointing at your head. I will say this about the this Hamfest. They actually did a balloon launch. They were supposed to do two, but they blew the second one up filling it. So the first one we had troubles with because they didn't have the right fitting for the regulator, and they had to do some jerry rigging. The second one, we were sitting there. I was actually talking to Phil. So Phil in chat there. Hey, Roger. We're actually talking to Phil, and all of a sudden you hear pop, and we're like, "Well, that was it." And we're like, "Do you got another one?" They're like, "Nope." We're like, "Okay." But yeah, that high altitude balloon. When we got to Palisades, because after Jason got his upgrade, we went straight to Palisades Kempler State Park and did a POTA activation. So that way he could use his new general privileges.
That ticket was hot in his pocket, wasn't it? He
Yeah, it
couldn't wait
was.
to break it open.
And the thing is, they were taking forever to test. Like, we stood out there for almost 45 minutes waiting for his results to come in. But they were busy. They tested a lot.
Yeah, I saw a posting from them today on Facebook. They had, I think, like 20 some, and a lot of walk-ins and stuff, and they posted the results of the upgrades and who got technician and stuff like that. But it was quite a few.
Hey guys, and I'm going to say this. If you want to join the conversation right now, check out the pinned comment. That's the way you can knock on our door and get in here and chat with us. We're just talking about the Hamfest because honestly, we're both there. But I mean, right now, if you got to bring something up, you have a question about anything, just bring it up. But we're going to talk about the Hamfest unless someone asks a different question. And hello, K0, how you doing? We need to try VHF FT8. That we do. I need to hook that up. But yeah, no, it was a good. I mean, it was a good Hamfest.
Yeah.
I was my one complaint They advertised it was open until 5 p.m. If I would have had to work till noon, I would have got there at 2. And at 2, everyone was either packed up or packing up.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would say for them, please, if you're going to advertise till 5, make sure your vendors are there till 5. That's my only complaint.
I'm glad I stayed there because I got rid of my free stuff.
And it was a lot of good company. I mean, I got to talk to our ARRL representation. Your feelings aside from the ARRL, they're good people, at least at the booth, because they want membership. So I mean, I got to talk to them. So feelings aside about ARRL, if you like them or not, don't care about that. They're nice people. Got to talk to some guys from Ames. Central Iowa traveled really well to Northeast Iowa. Andy was there, which he's kind of borderland between Central and Northeast. John was there, and John's 15 minutes to the west of me. And then we had a couple guys from Pella, some guys from Ames. I mean, we traveled real. I mean, it was nice. It was, I would say, as big or bigger than Des Moines.
That was my impression too, but I didn't go to Des Moines this year, so I didn't know. I'm not sure. I don't go to too many. There's a lot in the springtime, but I'm busy doing farm work and stuff like that. So I'm kind of in my downtime now. So this just worked out great that I could get away, and then I'll probably go to the one in Boone or where's the other one? Grimes. No, not Grimes. Pella. No, not Pella. Perry.
I got a flyer about Southwest Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find that quick.
Yeah, I went to that one a couple years ago, and they had some good stuff.
Yeah, I picked up the flyer. This was another people were there. The Central States VHF Society was there. I picked up information from them. Sorry, digging in the bag, trying to find flyers. I might have pulled it out already. But yeah, no, there's another one that I might try to get to. It was really hard for me actually, guys, to get to Ham Fest just because of my little job. Now that I don't work every Saturday, it's a little easier. I don't know where I put it.
Oh, and to Phil Kratz's comment, yeah, one major vendor's kind of let down. My impression, there was a lot of vintage equipment there and not a lot of there wasn't a lot of brand new stuff other than Associated, but I didn't see a lot of. Again, I hadn't gone all over the place, but I didn't see a lot of really brand new stuff. In the last 10 years,
I went all over the place, and there was some relatively brand new stuff. I mean, the other Andy A0AM had a hot spot for sale. He had a perfectly good Comet antenna that used to be on his truck that's less than 5 years old, because I think him and I it was in a video last year with me. So I mean, there was some relatively new stuff.
Yeah.
But
well, we're in, that Ham Fest is home to Collins Radio, and there's a lot of like engineers probably from Collins Aerospace, Collins Radio.
I like that comment. And Paul Cowley and I were talking about something like that. And we weren't necessarily talking about an Midwest regional. We were talking about like an all Iowa Ham Fest. One thing that there's a complaint about here with a lot of us in the state, not enough to make the change, but enough of us to have a voice, is Iowa ham clubs like to compete against each other, and we need to pull our heads out of our rear ends and say, hey, we're all hams. Let's try to get together, do one major statewide ham fest, pick a venue, whether that be Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and just make it a Dayton or Huntsville style ham fest in the state of Iowa. So a Midwest ham fest is right up that alley with that same train of thought. I am all for that. Hey, Erica, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I actually am going to look at that flyer because it looks like that would be a lot of fun too. That would be a lot of fun to do that VHF society, go up, hang out. And they are in Cedar Rapids this year on because I was talking to him for quite a bit. I should have actually done an interview with him, but I left my lapel mics July 25th and 28th of next year. They are going to be in Cedar Rapids doing their thing. So July next year, maybe we'll head up there and do a video. But and my train of thought with like an Iowa City thing is when you look at hams across the state, and I don't know if you noticed this, John. I don't know how much you've gotten out, but it seems like we have a really large concentration up in northeast Iowa and eastern Iowa, and we have a really large concentration down by Des Moines. So if we picked a spot in the middle, and my thought was Iowa City because that's the only kind of major town in the middle. Yes, it's obviously closer to Cedar Rapids, but it's only a half hour or so away from Des Moines.
Yeah.
If we were to go and take an event center over in Iowa City, we could have a huge ham fest. I mean, why not? Iowa City's definitely enough to support it. It's got it's the old Capitol, Kinnick Stadium. They're used to crowds over there. Why could we not do I have no idea why my dogs are going nuts.
Someone's at your door.
Maybe, actually. Or someone's driving them nuts. All I know is the wife's probably going to be like, unless the wife barges in here, then I think we'll just let them bark. But anyway, back to my ramp. You know, that's Iowa City's big enough. Why couldn't we? Because then the people from northeast Iowa come down. Mason City, they just jump on 218, they run down. The other people jump on I-80. I mean, the only people who would really suck for it would be northwest Iowa. But
yeah, I think you hit it on the point that you'd have to get a couple bigger clubs to agree to get together to do something like that.
You would have to get like the Cedar Valley clubs and the Des Moines area clubs to all come in and come together and say, hey, let's do this. And, you know, maybe we'll do a small little tailgate at our place, but we're going to just throw everything into this huge gathering in the central location. So Clear Lake, the ballroom. Oh, it's been so long. Sorry. I used to go to concerts at the Surf Ballroom. So Erica knows what we're talking about. Don't do the event. That's right. And make sure not to fly out during a storm from Mason City Regional Airport.
It was cool. Yeah. Like this Hamfest is different when I selling stuff. Like usually when I go to Hamfest, I kind of cruised it down and try to find someone I've met, like you or Paul or other Jason from up north. Kind of just say hi and stuff and just cruise around. This time I got just talk to people, and it was really interesting. I met a guy who was a broadcast engineer who maintains the transmitters like in Marshalltown radio stations and some other ones in central Iowa. I met a guy next to me who's retired from TV radio repairs, which that business is long gone, but these people have a wealth of information and stuff. And then I think there's another repair guy I talked to too. It's just really interesting meeting these people and talking to them about stuff. Unfortunately, a couple of them I couldn't get them to buy. I was hoping to sell my Helicrafter shortwave radio, but that didn't happen.
So I'm seeing a couple people in here that might be from Iowa in chat that I haven't seen before. Shoot me a message. Get a hold of me somehow, because we're going to get you. If you are from Iowa, I want you to join the Iowa Radio Operators Discord. We've got a constant conversation going on over there. I'm pretty sure you can find it. Right now, we got a pretty good Morse code conversation going on, a CW conversation going on. Keepers of the Code is probably our number one chat. Yeah, really? Every time I get my phone is going off almost 24 hours a day with the Keepers of the Code.
Oh, I gotta do something with my notifications. I went from getting individual notifications. When you started the Discord group, you get 1 or 2 notifications a day or something or whatever, and then now I get so many notifications. I had to go to a condensed like a morning and an evening digest, and stuff, because there's so much people talking on there. So I think it's fantastic.
Well, Craig's from Northeast Illinois, so we don't want him in that Iowa only Discord. But hey, I'll tell you what, Craig. There's 2 other Discords that I openly talk about joining. Toads and Claire Ham Radio Clubhouse. If you're not one a part of them, get over there because you can get a hold of me over there too. Actually, if you are from Iowa and you're in those Discords, just DM me and I'll get you the RR one. But yeah, we're trying to keep IRO is supposed to be this all-inclusive Iowans helping Iowans. Crap, I can't figure this out. Oh, you're only 20 minutes away. Let me come down there real quick. It's kind of that community. So, we'll see you later, Andy. Andy's taking off on us.
Adios.
Hold on. What is this? It would be nice to have a HamCon with vendors panel. And
yeah,
I will say this, John, we did actually they had some pretty good presentations. I don't know if you'd looked at the presentation list or not. But Paul Cowley was there talking. I can't remember what his first talk was about. They had someone talking about all the things you could do on with the tech license, satellites. I had 2 topics he did on. I can't remember the first one. The second one, he was representing the Iowa Repeater Council. I mean, they had ARRL did a presentation. So, I mean, I was actually really impressed for all they had going on.
I wish there's more, but again, you need to have volunteers. I think there's plenty of topics within the ham radio community and stuff to talk about something. But again, you got to have volunteers to step up to do it and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. I work in the computer industry, and the user groups in the computer industry are always trying to find people to do presentations, even 5-minute quick talks about what's cool that they're working on. You don't have to give a big slideshow for an hour or anything like that.
Yeah. So computer industry, I know this, John, but I don't know how much in detail. How good are you at building computers?
I used to do it a long time ago. I just don't. It doesn't trip my trigger anymore.
I might need to have either you or Jason come check out my desktop and see what I need to do to put some updates in it.
Yeah, when I used to build computers, they were the hot processor probably would have been like a Pentium 3 or something like that. We're a long ways now. They're but anyway.
It looks like we might get another Discord going right now. This is going to be born in this live stream. Have a tri-state. Why are we going to leave it at tri? Who are we? Is it going to be Iowa, Minnesota, in Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois? I mean, why tri-state? I mean, you're going to open it up to the Midwest. We're going to leave the Dakotas out. Okay, guys, start talking about this. We're gonna born a Discord here shortly. A Discord I don't want to be an owner of this one. I'll stay at the top of the IRO one, but I would not mind joining a Iowa or a Midwest Discord. I'll let someone else be the chief of that one. But so in the chat, guys, we're gonna get a Midwest Discord born. Someone's gonna post a link here probably before long and be like, hey, what about this?
Well, if you can build a community, more power to you.
I will join a Midwest Discord.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of Discords right now, but I'll be honest, I only am in really 2 or 3 that I'm actually active in. So
you mentioned the Keepers of Code. The coolest thing in the last 2 weeks is the morsel.fun, where it's basically like Wordle, except you have to guess the word using Morse code. And it starts out at 40 words a minute. And it's just, it takes you maybe a minute or 2 minutes. And it's just another way to practice Morse code. But anyway, it's fun. And a couple other guys have been posting their, how quickly they get it or what speed they're getting it. So that was one of the coolest things that showed up on Discord in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
And that was funny because someone just said, "Hey, why don't we have a CW chat?" I'm like, "Hold on, hold on! I got this idea for this name, the Keepers of the Code." Because everyone talks, you have the no code tech. Everyone doesn't say it's CW. Everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
It's code. It's code. So I'm like, okay, here we go. This code that's lost. We have the Keepers, the gifted ones, the sacred ones, the keepers. And I'm like, oh yes, we're having fun with this, the
Yeah.
keepers
Yeah.
of the code.
Yeah.
Because CW isn't mandatory for licensing anymore, and I
No.
do have a lot of respect for people that do know CW, and I think it's cool that they can send it and understand it, because when it comes down to it, I might be standing next to someone and be like, code, yeah, okay, well, conditions suck and I need this message sent. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be having to depend on someone, probably, and might have to depend on someone to get my message out. So those people that have learned it, can do it, they're awesome. And I'm even talking about the gatekeepers who think that's the only way ham radio should be. I'm sorry, I put them on a little bit of a pedestal because it's a different language and it's a different world. So
it definitely takes effort. It takes a lot of effort and grit to kind of stick with it. Unless, the thing is what gets me is that, way back in the 50s and 60s, freaking like 12 and 15-year-olds were learning it and were able to send Morse code contacts and stuff. So I'm trying to beat a 15-year-old, from.
I can send SOS.
Well, I could too. Yeah.
And then you have that train museum south of you that that's actually was my first exposure to CW, because when we took a trip when I was probably 5 or 6, we stopped at that train museum,
Trainline USA,
north of Colfax,
yeah,
on our trip around Iowa when I was younger, and he had a little straight key. And I did a little straight key, and then he flipped the switch on where it's just a recording, and then it's just flying out. So that was my first exposure to CW. So,
it's my life. It's been my life goal, or my yearly goal for the last 3 years, to learn Morse code, and I'm slowly doing it, but I need to speed up a little bit and get it done. And Nick, I'm trying to think of Nick's last. K0BJJ on
IRO.
Yeah, an IRO. He keeps like, oh, come on, I'll just get a hold of me when I'm doing a POTA and we could do a QSO. It's like, and I keep holding out because I want to have the hardest, not the hardest, but I want to do it all on my own, the traditional way, even though it's going to take longer.
I'm actually going to shoot him a message now because he just posted, so he's watching it. I'm going to ask him if his ears are burning or if he's hearing it. Sorry, I got to pick on someone. Bernie?
He's good encouragement. I mean, he's I think he's good motivation, and like he's the one I think who pointed out Morsel.fun.
He does a lot of CW.
Yeah. I'm admired him because, and you talk to him and he says, well, I'm crappy. I send question marks half the time because I don't know what the characters are. And it's like, yeah, but you're actually doing it. You actually activate a POTA park, probably multiple times a month. And that's where I want to be, somewhere there.
I'm going to send Nick a link to the live stream. Yeah, I told him, like, we're talking about you. And he goes, oh, no.
I told you, Robert. See, I'm envious of Robert now. He learned CW in 1974 at 14 years old.
Yeah, no, it's a fun. I mean, I love listening to it. I don't understand it, but like even when I'm just spinning through the bands, I'll just be like, well, how's propagation? I'll spin down the CW and like, well, it must not have to be that great. I can't hear these guys that well.
Before FTA, you would spin down to the CW and see if you hear anything. And that's what I do is I go to FT8 frequency, see if it sounds busy, or go down to the CW, see if it sounds busy. And it's a quick way to tell not only propagation, but it tells me if my receiver's working, my antenna's working decent and stuff.
Robert still uses a straight key.
Yeah. I actually joined the there's a couple clubs nationwide that are trying to promote CW. One of them is CW Ops, and the other one is the Long Island CW Club. And I just joined them about a month or two ago, and they put on multiple Zoom meetings and stuff. But they're promoting using a straight key to begin with. So
Long Island CW Club is one I hear a lot about. And I will say this, I will learn CW before I get extra. That's how adamant I am about not getting extra because I don't see the point in me getting extra at this point. So, and CW has more interest of it, but I've got so much stuff going.
oh, it's that's what's
It's
great about
hard.
the hobby. It's a hobby of 1,000 hobbies. So
And,
if
and I'm young
CW
yet compared to a lot of the people in it.
Yes, if CW doesn't trip your trigger, go to FD8, and FD8 doesn't trip some people's trigger, go with voice, or do like for me, I wanted to learn electronics and a lot of electronics repair and to learn electronics is way easier on the older vintage equipment because all this tube based stuff is all real. They give you the circuit diagram they or schematic, and then you can repair that stuff. The modern stuff you can't repair. You have to be at microscope and surface mount, and they don't even give you a schematic on it. So that's kind of why I use retro. I also like retro. I like retro computing, retro vintage radio. So
Yeah.
that's just me. Everyone's different.
See, that's not me. I'm in for the MCOM. I'm in for the
Yeah.
more. I mean, and that's the thing. It's a hobby of 1,000 hobbies, and even if you are on totally opposite spectrums, you can probably find something to talk about.
Yeah, that's what irritates me with people who poo poo someone who uses like FT8 and stuff. It's all using radio frequency to do some sort of communication and stuff. And I don't, would I would love to go do a whole bunch of other stuff, but I only have so much time, and I concentrate on my effort. And if I get bored with that or whatever, or make where I'm not learning anything new or make my goals, then I'm probably go do other stuff. Like I've never done an FT8 contact. I've never used FT8. All my equipment's kind of old to do it.
I've done FT8, my main thing for FT8 is when I was working nights and I'd have to stay up, and I wanted to play on the radio. You can't really be going Kilo Zero Bravo Juliet Juliet somewhat loud when the person behind you in the other
Yeah,
room is
yeah.
sleeping. So that's
Oh,
where FT8 came involved.
you
So
get those nasty text messages too at like midnight, like you're talking too loud.
yeah, and that's where like I'd set the radio up for FT8. I turn the volume all the way down so I didn't even hear it, and I'd be making contacts.
Yeah,
That's a good way to do FT8 when you're a night shifter and it's your night off, but you got to stay up and
yeah,
you want to play on the radio. Now I don't have that issue anymore. I haven't been on FT8 in forever. I do a lot more sideband, but it's still there. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I almost have to be in a mood. Like I'll go through different moods. Like I'll be like I'll get a POTA bug and then I'll go hit POTA up for a while. And okay, I'm kind of worn down on POTA. Actually, there's no me wearing down on POTA. It's just that I only go so far and I know people get tired of seeing like Rock Creek State Park in my videos. Trust me, I'm tired of going there at times. So that's why you
me too.
haven't seen me going out to Rock Creek a lot lately because I've been intentionally staying away from it.
Yeah,
But the same thing it's like FT8. Just sometimes nights I get the FT8 bug. I'll run FT8 for 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, it's time to give it a rest. Hey, I really want to start working DX. I'll start trying to bring up the clusters and start hitting in DX, and then it'll just calm down. It just goes in waves. FT4 on satellite.
wow.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
I kind of have a bug to go do satellite stuff because I'm used to going out and camping or having sitting at a fire, and we'll just sit up there and look up, and there'll be satellites whizzing by all of it all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with Team Tacos. Look here, I'm a fan of people just being on the radio too. I really could care less what you enjoy about it. You're on it. You're using it. The point is to be on the radio and have fun. So I don't understand when we get some of these gatekeepers that are super hyper on one thing. It's just like they're on the radio. Who cares? As long as they're being respectful, who really
Yeah.
cares? I want people to come to the hobby because if we don't promote the hobby and we don't use the privileges, we all know the government's going to sell it away.
Yeah.
The government might sell it away anyway, but if there's a ton of us, sorry, ham alert's going off. If there's a ton of us on there using it, they're going to be hard justifying saying, well, no one's using it. We're like, what do you mean? There's people on these bands 24/7. What do you mean no one's using it? Okay, you can't use that as an excuse. You're going to have to go, hey, I'm Big Brother and I'm taking it from you because I can, which is a little bit harder for them to pull or sell than versus there's nobody using this. So why would you care if we took it? So, ooh, Pilot Knob State Park. Yep. Pilot Knob, I need to get up north.
2-for-1, huh? We have a 2-for-1 in Iowa. Do you have a? Is that not too many of them?
Pilot Knob State Park is also a soda.
Ah, we have a soda in Iowa.
We have two.
Really? What's the other one?
I can't remember. It's Southwest Iowa Southwest Iowa somewhere.
Cool.
But yeah, it's actually a soda also. If you activate from the knob, it's a soda. You have to be, I think, 50 or 100 foot or whatever from the summit. So if you go down the trail, it's not a soda, but if you go by the knob, it is.
I guess since you're talking about activating, I mentioned it to you. I kind of get into the Iowa QSO party last year or the last 2 years. So if anybody wants to do a remote on Iowa QSO party, look me up on like IRO. Because there's some like Hendrickson Marsh is a popular one. Like I know Paul goes there because it's a double points if you do the Iowa QSO party there because it's between two counties. And
there's your second soda. Erica put it in.
I never heard of that.
So, yeah, Hawkeye Point and Pilot Knob are your two sodas in Iowa. So, but yeah, no, Iowa QSO party, and they did have some paper out on it. I'm pretty sure if I can get this coordinated, and we'll coordinate an IRO. I want to get IRO booths up at these bigger ham fests. Yeah. So Des Moines next year, Central, South, or Northeast Iowa, the Cedar Valley one, the one we're talking about. This one.
Yeah, I know.
Cedar Valley. I want. Okay, I know exactly where she's talking about. That was my old stomping grounds. Well, a little bit.
Worthington, Minnesota. Yeah, I know where that's at.
Yeah, it's south of Worthington.
Yeah, I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know exactly where that's at. For those of you that don't know, I grew up on Iowa Highway 9. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. When you don't want to take I-90, just go down the Iowa Highway 9. It gets you through Iowa just as quick, or not just as quick. It gets you through Iowa, and it's basically straight across. I've taken Highway 9 from South Dakota to Wisconsin a couple different times. And it cut my hometown in half, so.
Trying to think of what else at the Ham Fest. I guess the only other thing I bought is a emergency shortwave radio, like a little one like this. I don't know. Nice. It was like $20. It was kind of a splurge kind of thing. It's a GP5 SSB, some sort of medium wave, FM, and shortwave. So I usually take some sort of shortwave with me. If I'm not operating, when I go on vacation or go out to a cabin and go fishing, I bring a shortwave. So I'm gonna bring this with me next time I go.
Erica says she's 1 block off of Highway 9. I live 2 blocks from North Iowa High School in Buffalo Center. So you tell me. I'm not. I mean, I'm Buffalo Center ain't that big. So I live my actual parents' house is 2 blocks away from North Iowa High School, all North Iowa Community Schools, because now they have all K-12 in the one building. Not when I was there. When I was there, it was K through 4, or pre through 4 in Buffalo Center, 9 through 12 in Buffalo Center, and then 5 through 8 was in Thompson. But yeah, good times, and that was back before when we had Woden Crystal Lake Titanca still a school district. They folded, I think, 2 years after I graduated. Oh no, we're getting more location. Rock Rapids, it's just 14. Nice. I know not exactly. I know roughly where that or Erica is, because I had a friend that graduated from Rock Rapids. I went out to the racetrack out there, watched a couple races, so I know roughly where Erica is.
Yeah, I've never been. So you're up in that area. I haven't been up there that much. That part of Iowa.
It's small town after small town.
Yeah.
Once you get past Okoboji Spirit Lake area,
Yeah.
it's just farming communities until you hit Sioux Falls. Which there's nothing wrong about that.
No, I for whatever reason I never really get up into northwest Iowa or southwest Iowa. It's always heading towards the east, northeast Iowa, southeast Iowa.
Erica, I want you to DM me or something. We're going to get you in the IRO. We need some more representation over there. If you're not already in IRO, we're going to get you in the IRO. So get a hold of me. Email me something. My email. If you guys want to fill my inbox full of fan mail, my call sign, ia@gmail.com. So let's get Erica in IRO so she can start harassing the other yahoos in there. Well, she's up there in Jason's neck of the woods. She can give Jason all the heck she wants. So she would be the closest one to him and over in Storm Lake. But I'm trying to figure out. I think Team Taco Slick might be Nick. I'm guessing here because I think he said he joined, and then right after he joined, this Team Taco Slick started commenting. I think this might be Nick. Yes. I'm surprised he is not responding to us in CW dots and dashes.
Oh, you asked for that. That would prove that it was him, actually.
Right?
It would.
He's not blowing up keepers of the code, so he's over here. We know it's him now. If he would have just started responding in Morse, we would have known instantly.
Yeah.
And now that I said it, he'll probably respond the rest of the stream in Morse.
Now I'm hungry for tacos. I used to live in Des Moines. I want some tasty tacos now.
I'm still full from lunch, man. For lunch, I was craving the Johns of Jimmy, and I got a giant sandwich, and it did the trick. it filled me up. So, no, we need to get a bigger ham fest, or at least try to figure something out. But we are going to start having IRO booths. I'm going to start encouraging IRO members to, if they have a ham fest going on, if they're selling, to either print some flyers out or something. Because I want Iowa to unite. I want Iowa to be a place for radio. When people say amateur radio, they goes, hey, you know those guys out in Iowa? You can get a hold of them. They're organized. I want us to go on the map. I really do. Because we're a flyover state. What else do we have to do? We got ham radio.
I just like the fact that Discord is like instantaneous and very, very, very concentrated on not just Iowa and radio, and it isn't like some groups IO with people spread all over the place. You actually get to meet people that you're talking to and stuff. Um, so anyway,
And we are, I mean, the thing is, we are using that Discord, and I'll say this about Discord in general. We are only using that Discord for very little what we could. I've had meetings with the emergency coordinators. I've talked to some emergency management personnel. We literally could host emergency activation nets on Discord voice and have our local teams reporting to a net controller with internet and relaying into that master net control. There's nothing stopping us. We could have one person that's really good with State EMA or really good with all the National Weather Service, and we could have a weather net going up on IRO. We just need to get the information to someone with the internet link to
yeah.
report in. And the likelihood of someone, the entire state losing internet, now I'm going to say this very, very cautiously, the entire state losing internet to where you could not do something like that, the odds are tremendously rare. So it's one of those things. It's like we can use Discord for so many things. Right now we're just using it for networking. Why can't we use it for more than that? Someone's on the road, they're traveling from area to area. They get in the voice chat. Hey, I'm headed over to Council Bluffs. What's your repeaters?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing this. I'm getting ready to do this trip. Anyone got any advice? That's what I want to see. That's the community. Okay, what is going on? I'm sorry, I got two ham alerts. So what ham alert? It just keeps going off.
Who you
What
follow?
state do I need? This is Alaska. Okay, I understand that one. Alaska's been hot lately. I still haven't turned on the radio to try to get them. I need to hunt Alaska.
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually got. I'm really bad. I try to enter all my QSOs in, but I don't log my QSOs as I make them. So I write them on paper and then I get them typed into my logging program, and I'm kind of behind by a couple months. And SSB's been hot, with the sunspot cycle. I almost a couple weeks ago, it was like regularly every night I could go. I was Russia, Eastern Europe. I made a contact in Africa, South Africa, usually around 11 o'clock, 11 to midnight and stuff. But I got to get those put in there so I get credit for them. At some point, I'm going to go after, like, I got to get worked all countries. I got to get worked all states, and then start working on DXCC at some point.
The WACOM system and the W9Com system that Chris is talking about in Wisconsin, I wish we had something like that in Iowa. I am really honestly jealous of like WECOM and the Colorado ranged repeater systems and what Florida's got going on. We need that in Iowa.
Is that based like on Arden or
WECOM I think is all VHF UHF. Chris can correct me if we're wrong. I'm pretty sure Florida's all VHF UHF. They might be starting to expand into Arden more. Phil's right. They use Discord to do their monthly meetings online.
Yeah, there's all those interactive stuff that we're not using in Discord. We're just doing chats and messages and stuff. It'd be nice to get more video.
Yeah, it's all 2 meter up there.
Meetings.
And I will say I am part of that Discord, the NACG Discord that Phil was talking about. I talked to the Mason City guys quite a bit. I was really happy to see Phil yesterday. I did give Justin hell because he didn't show up, but he had a reasonable reason. And I'm not. It's personal. I'm not going to say it. I already gave him crap about it. We don't need to publicly humiliate him. But yeah, no. Discord is, and I open people to use the IRO Discord however they really feel they need to. My big things are keep it legal and keep it family friendly because I want this available for anyone who is interested in any radio. I don't care if they're 6 years old or 106 years old. So sometimes language gets a little foul. I don't care if there's an F-bomb every now and then, but we're going to keep it legal and we're going to keep it friendly in that Discord. And if people don't want to be doing those things, I am not afraid to give them the boot. I've had to give people timeouts in the past and give them ultimatums. We've got one person on their final warning right now. So we are strict about that, but this is supposed to be family friendly environment from, the youngest to the oldest. We want it to be nice. That's the community that we want in Iowa radio operators. So if if you're in Iowa, you think you can do that. Like I said, shoot me an email.
I I don't know about you, but I want to know where the Linns live because sometimes I want to hunt these guys down.
Here's another way you guys can get a hold of me, K0BJJ.com. There's a couple different tabs where you can shoot a message to me. It's just a little form to fill out. If you are in Iowa and you want to join the IRO Discord, you can fill one of those contact surveys out. That's another way to get a hold of me. K0BJJ.com. I actually need to add something to the calendar that Phil invited me to yesterday. And then I have a video and then this live stream, which I hopefully will either update tomorrow or tonight yet. I'm not sure. I still got to get clothes ready for tomorrow. I'm not ready for work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not either. I still haven't unloaded my truck. It's been raining all day, and I haven't unloaded the equipment on my truck. But I'm working from home tomorrow, so I don't need to necessarily unload everything.
So yeah, no, it's that. I mean, Iowa needs to do more. I'm sorry. I'm speaking as a lifelong Iowan. Forget that my birth certificate was signed in Minnesota. I'm saying this as a lifelong Iowan. We Iowans can do better, and we will. For radio.
Hey, by the way, how are you doing on subs?
How am I doing on subs? Well, I don't know if I've gained any during the conversation here, but let's take a peek. Someone had an update earlier. So currently,
Yeah.
at this very moment, if this is right, and it is, we are 20 subscribers away.
Ooh, wow.
From that Ham Radio Care Package giveaway. 20 subs away from giving away a Ham Radio Care Package, and you can see a video on that was less than 2 weeks old, and nothing's been added to that, so check out that video if you want to know what's inside.
You gained 2 from yesterday.
I did. Three, because it was 477.
Good.
So my only thing about the giveaway is you must be in the continental United States or be able to receive mail in the continental United States. I'm not sending this thing overseas. So, but in 20 subs, we're going to have a special video where you're going to have to leave a comment with a certain phrase or something in there. And then
in Morse code.
No, we won't do that. Hey, maybe that'll be our phrase. Type Morse code in the comments below to enter to win. But then we will actually do the drawing live on stream the Sunday, like a week or two later. So,
that'd be cool.
But we're only 20 subs away. We've gone up like 40 subs this month.
Oh, what have you been doing?
19. Erica just subbed, I guess.
Excellent. What have you been doing this last month to get those subs?
Paying for you Google Ads. I think I've dropped $100 in the last month for Google Ads. So, I mean, I'm loving the view counts. I think on my last POTA activation, we got almost 500 views.
Well, I tell you what, I'd like to see more of those tornado chasing videos. That was like great this spring. I'm ready to look at some more here.
We almost had a chase today. I just about had to cancel.
Really?
Yeah. Extreme Southeast Iowa was in a 5% risk. I honest don't know if they got it. I know John went down there, John White. Grinnell down south was in a 2%. It looks like the event's over now, so I mean, I don't think any game of it. But I was tempted to go out. It was just one of those things where I was looking at models, and if certain things would have unfolded, I probably would have canceled the stream to go out. But when I'm looking outside after our first shot of rain and there's a lot of cloud cover, I'm like, nothing's going to happen here. We're capped. And that's what
Yeah.
happened. Nothing unfolded.
Yeah. Well, I liked it for the other reason. We got 2 inches and 3/10 overnight and today.
Yeah, we needed
So
the rain.
it was dry here.
Yeah, I saw the corn dancing when I was coming back from Pella, grabbing the oldest. So, well, it looks like we have reached our hour. I want to thank everyone who is active in chat. I thank Erica for subscribing. So now we only need 19 more people to subscribe to the channel so we can give away this ham radio care package. I don't know if we're going to get to that sub point before the POTA video goes out, but I'm telling you this right now. If we don't, we will have another giveaway at 1,000 subscribers, and I was hoping to win that prize yesterday, but unfortunately I didn't win that prize. But that 1,000 subscriber giveaway is going to be a lot bigger than just what we have going on now. But I want to thank everyone for joining us today. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you haven't dropped a like the stream, please. And we will see you next Sunday night on here, live K0BJJ, where I still don't know what we're doing. We'll figure it out. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for joining us, John. 7-3.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. 73, everyone.